The 10 most American Americans in history, ranked. What really constitutes being an American? And don't say freedom, that's a cop-out. In a country this vast and diverse, it's hard to pick just a few qualities that make someone a true American. But like obscenity and boyishness, we might not be able to define what makes an American, but we know a true American when we see one. And throughout our country's 239-year history, there have been a lot of them. Too many to count, in fact, and certainly too many for a list like this. But if we had to narrow it down, it would be these 10 people, all of whom have exemplified, represented, and downright been America. 10. Marilyn Monroe. She is, without question, the great American sex symbol. Not only was she the first woman ever to fold out of a Playboy magazine, helping fuel the sexual revolution of the 1960s, but she also found herself alongside men at the top of entertainment, Arthur Miller, sports, Joe DiMaggio, and politics, JFK, and was the 20th century's icon of American female sexuality. 9. Neil Armstrong. He took our flag and planted it on a giant rock in outer space. The only other person to do that was the original mascot for MTV, and we're pretty sure he's not real. 8. Mickey Mantle. Back when baseball was actually America's pastime and not America's pastime between the Super Bowl and the NFL preseason, Mickey Mantle was the king of the sport. And the only performance-enhancing drug he ever used was whiskey. Sure, he played most of his career with a bottle in hand, but what's more American than being so confident you don't even bother showing up sober? 7. Muhammad Ali. You are the best in the world at what you do, and you aren't afraid to mention it at every possible moment. You're cocky, you're a loudmouth, you challenge authority, and even when you get beaten, you come back and defeat whoever it was that beat you. If that doesn't sum up America, nothing does. 6. Elvis Presley. Yep, we gave the world rock and roll. And with it came its king, Elvis Presley, who represented America to the entire world with his swiveling hips and pompadour hair. 5. John Wayne. Thanks to this guy, there is an entire generation of foreigners who think every American speaks with a slow Iowa drawl and calls people pilgrim. Because in the 1960s and 70s, nobody represented this country better in movies than our greatest on-screen cowboy. The Duke was an American icon for those abroad who only knew us through movies, and he transmitted our values worldwide better than anyone before or since. 4. Harriet Tubman. One of the pioneers of the Underground Railroad, a pistol-toting Tubman repeatedly risked her life to free runaway slaves. She made a total of 13 trips between the South and the North, and because of her bravery, over 70 enslaved families and friends were rescued from plantations and brought to the Union. 3. Teddy Roosevelt. Not only is he the coolest guy ever from New York and the only face on Mount Rushmore from the 20th century, but he was also probably the most rugged president in history, who preferred his alone time in the North Dakota wilderness to his home in New York. He gave this country our beautiful national park system and assembled the ragtag group of Rough Riders who helped us win the Spanish-American War. 2. Thomas Jefferson. It would be pretty hard to leave the guy who, literally, defined America off the list. Like, he not only wrote the Declaration of Independence, but then helped shape the Constitution from afar through his letters to James Madison, essentially the two documents that spell out exactly what this country is. And, of course, you know, third president and all. Putting him any lower would be like leaving Miles Davis off a list of cool. 1. George Washington. This should be as surprising as a $5 birthday check from your nana, but can you really argue with a general who led a spunky group of young American rebels to one of the greatest military upsets of all time? No, you can't. He won the fight for our independence and was the first president to preside over our great country. Number 1 is all his. Please comment for more video ideas. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.